After 500 miles of a four-wheeled chess match, Clint Bowyer is the last one standing at Talladega. In a wild and somewhat confusing finish, Talladega was relatively kind to the top three chasers, and now it's an even tighter chase for the championship. But chaser Clint Bowyer is taking his second checkered flag in this chase. He may not be figuring in for the championship, but he certainly is spending a lot of time in victory lane. Welcome, everyone. This is NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, and we promise you, never leave Talladega until the checkered flag. And today, you had to stay around a little while longer than the checkered flag to finally figure out what was going on. I'm John Roberts. He's race car driver Kenny Wiles, Kyle Petty. Guys, we waited. The only guy who knew for sure he won at the end of this thing was Richard Childress. He just didn't know which car of his won.
And we're looking at Kevin Harvick, Richard Childress congratulating him. But, you know, what happened here was Clint Bowyer said, I won the race. I know I won the race. It didn't become official until we finally got him in victory lane.
No, you run a 500-mile race, and then there's 10 minutes of drama for those guys to look at the loop. But you got to give it to NASCAR. They looked at the loop. It was not the start-finish line. It has to be wherever the caution comes out. They took the white flag, so the race is officially over, so you set the field there. They needed to see where the last scoring loop was to make sure that the 33 had won the race. Pretty impressive that the 33 just goes on down and does his burnout. That's confidence.
He knew because he looked outside of his race car and saw, he thought he was ahead. Let's, when you look back at that and you see who was where on the racetrack, it was kind of obvious to a lot of us looking at the tape, but it's like Kyle pointed out, the rule from NASCAR is, you got to go back to the last scoring loop. Once the white flag is out, that's an official race. But who is ever ahead at the last scoring loop, that's who wins.
Yeah, and it's not the start-finish line. So many people get confused. Everything goes on at the start-finish line. It doesn't. We set the caution, we set the field after a caution under the scoring loops. You see drivers get back in position. NASCAR tells them where to be. It's the same way when the white flag comes out. That's drama right there. I don't care. What a way to end the race. You run that long, that close, and it comes down to a piece of tape for the guys to look back and say, this is what it was.
But I can promise you, anybody that doesn't believe he won the race, NASCAR has spent millions of dollars on tape recorders, video cameras throughout the racetrack. So this is official. He's the winner. But I must say, drama at Talladega, it sounds normal. Here we are. This is coming to the white flag. Who wins? Who wins? We don't know. Now the caution flies, so NASCAR has to look at the tape because of this accident right here.
Yeah, and you saw the 29 had the lead at the start-finish line. But this wreck happened after these guys. These guys are already down into turn one and towards the middle of turn one. So that inside line or that outside line had the momentum and carries just a little bit farther. You see the 33, he went ahead and went to the front on the backstretch. He was confident that he was ahead when that caution, when his spotter said caution, he was confident he was ahead.
Now what is great about this story, he didn't know if he won, but he said, I'm going to do a burnout. I led the whole front straightaway.
That's confidence.
And that's a great shot right there. Those guys, they pulled up beside each other, and they congratulated each other. First and second, didn't make any difference. The Childress team wins, but those guys, that's sportsmanship. That's really cool right there. That's a good shot.
And when you talk about the top three drivers in the chase going into today, all three of them struggled. Moving to the back of the pack, Kevin Harvick actually got in what looked like a pretty bad accident as he hit Marcus Ambrose in the 47, so he bounced back as well, and it's almost miraculous that he got a second place finish. We will sort all this out on NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. Stay with us, everyone. Clint Bowyer is the big winner, but I think the top three chasers will consider this a win as well. We'll be back in a moment.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Put the fuel of NASCAR in your car. Brought to you in part by Cheerios. Check out Cheerios.com/love for heart-healthy tips and a chance to win the ultimate race weekend. And by Silver Star Ultra Headlights from Sylvania. See farther, see wider, see better.
What's scarier than racing at Talladega? How about Talladega on a Halloween weekend? It is not scary, however, for Clint Bowyer, as he was able to hold off a charging teammate in a two-car pack and win this race, although it took him a few minutes afterwards to figure out that he actually had won it. Let's go back to the green flag where Juan Pablo Montoya, for the 5th time in his career and the 3rd time this season, led us to the green flag. It was typical Talladega from the outset, but we saw these two-car breakaways right away.
Yeah, Juan Pablo wants to lead the first lap, but looky here. In the 4th spot is Joe Nemechek. Joe Nemechek will lead the first lap at Talladega.
Yeah, and you know, when they drop the green flag, you see the 48. The 48 is on his way to the back of the field, and that's by design. We saw the 1 car of Jamie McMurray, when they dropped the green flag, move to the high side and get out of the way to go to the back of the pack. These guys, that was their plan from the beginning.
Well, he's only a part-time racer, but Michael Waltrip knows how to get around Talladega. He goes to the front to lead.
I love this. Michael Waltrip announced the truck race yesterday. He dressed up for Halloween as Lovey from Gilligan's Island. He was a lady yesterday. Today he's a man, baby, and he's leading at Talladega.
He's the man of the mountain right there. And the 14, Tony Stewart, cut tire early, and that would put him in the back of the pack, and he was playing catch-up all day long, but he eventually made it back up there with the help of the lucky dog.
Well, this is simply a left front flat. I guess he ran over some debris. Very confusing, but he brings it around, does not blow a tire, no damage, comes back to have a decent finish.
Very minimal damage here for A.J. Allmendinger, the number 43. You thought this might be really bad, but he did a good job to hold on to it, spun down the backstretch, almost didn't need the caution, but it came out anyway, and you see by the back of the car, he had a little bit of help with this.
Yeah, somebody got into him, and that's normal, but here we are. Look at here. Everybody's saying, let's log laps, single file, right and high, Kyle.
And the 11 is a lap down. That's the amazing part. You know what I mean? At this point in time in the race, as you look at this, these guys just got in line because this was something that they had to do. You got guys out there protecting their points. You got a lot of different agendas on the racetrack right now. And at this point in time in the race, that's what it was all about.
Wow, the 11 car of Denny Hamlin went down a lap because he lost the draft. But look here. Here we go again. This is what happened all day long. 2-car breakaway. This is Roush Racing. Don't you know Jack Roush was happy to see this?
You know, and I was amazed at how 2 cars could break away and change positions in the middle of the backstretch. They seem to change position every lap or so, change positions and not really lose a lot of time.
Mike Ford and Denny Hamlin were very calm about going a lap down, and they were able to get it back with the help of Toyota teammate David Rudiman as he pushes Denny to the front of the pack. They were very calm, didn't say anything on the radio, and that is a mark of a championship contending team.
And it's one racetrack that you can't worry about going down a lap, Kyle.
No, you don't worry about going down a lap here because as we see in the final rundown, so many cars stay in the lead lap here. You can get a lap down, and all you need is that caution to catch up just a little bit, and that's what he drove to the front.
Now watch this, the top of your screen. Jamie McMurray gets hit in the rear by Jeff Burton. It was the save of a lifetime.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, on TV, this looks like a bobble. You see he gets hit in the side. What? He's at, I don't know, 25, 30 degrees. Let me tell you something. At 190 miles an hour, right there going in the corner and dropping that thing in, it's terrible. Here's an opportunity, or here's a shot where it did not work out for the 88 or for Jeff Burton in the 31.
Yeah, Dale Jr. right there. He gets into Jeff Burton. Jeff Burton in a lot of these deals today. Dale Jr. said, I messed up. I pushed him at the wrong angle.
Yeah, and when you push somebody at the wrong angle, he got him just on the right side of the car, which turned him into the outside wall. And you see how frustrated Jeff Burton is because those guys felt like they had a shot at it.
Saw the same thing 2 years ago, October 2008. You see what happened there. Take another look as this one caused much more damage than the one between Dale Jr. and Jeff Burton. Bump drafting in the turns. You see with the wings on the car, we had the big one.
And you know what? For some reason, it's always turns 3 and 4. Is it because the sun's on it? Is it just that corner? But, I mean, it's always turn 3 and 4.
History repeats itself here at Talladega as well, and here comes this year's version of the big one, the 47 of Marcus Ambrose. Kevin Harvick gets into him. At the time, Kevin Harvick said, we are not badly damaged. It looked like it was a much different story, but obviously he was good enough to come back.
Watch his nose. Watch the nose of this car. Boom, look at the right front fender. I thought, oh, no, he's in trouble.
Yeah, arrow-wise, you got to say, that car's in trouble. That car's not going to blow in the wind tunnel what these other cars are blowing. But you saw those guys. I mean, it's amazing. What Gil Martin and those guys did to put that car back in the race is amazing.
2-car breakaway here with Jeff Gordon and Greg Biffle. You saw how fast 2 cars move together as opposed to a big pack.
And Mark Martin, he says, no, but he can't close the gap.
He can't close the gap. And what I saw here today and what I noticed here today, 2 cars were incredibly fast. You throw a 3rd car on it, it was a little bit of an anchor. If 4 got in line on the bottom, they didn't go anywhere. It was a 2-car breakaway that really made this thing work.
He's the most successful plate racer of all times with 12 victories on this kind of track. So Jeff Gordon makes his way to the front, and that should come as no surprise to anybody.
And this is a point in the race. There was 10 to go. Crew chief Chad Knaus told Jimmy Johnson, okay, it's time to go. This was a phenomenal move because the crew chief called it. They went to the front, and here they are leading the race with about 8 laps to go.
And they came from the back to the front so fast when they got to the start-finish line. The 24 car says, I think we're losing an engine. And at about this point right here, he said, yeah, it's lost. And you see these guys jockeying for position and try to get around him. Jeff just pulls down out of the way. Now, he jumps back up in line to stay in the draft, but in his mind, he's got a blown engine at this point.
Let's take a look at the last lap. And you ever been to southern Georgia and seen those love bugs flying around?
Oh, yes.
These two cars together look like the love bugs from southern Georgia as they were tied together. You think this thing might be over at this point. You don't know who's going to win it. As the white flag comes out, there is trouble behind the leaders, and here it is.
Wow.
A.J. Allmendinger goes airborne, but at this point, the race was official because the white flag had come out. Here's where it comes in. The confusion part of it is we did not know who was leading when that flag came out. NASCAR has to look at exactly when it came out and exactly who was leading at the timing loop. Clint Boyer thinks it is him, and he is correct.
Well, he does the burnout with a lot of confidence. He is the winner. Clint Boyer, his second chase win of 2010.
So let's take a look at Clint Boyer celebrating. Now, normally at this point in the show, we would show you the complete rundown of finishers and points. But guess what? NASCAR is still looking at those timing loops to try to figure out exactly who finished where. And we will have that for you a little later in the show. But right now, we are waiting for the big winner, Clint Boyer, to come over and talk to us about one of the wildest finishes we've seen in quite some time, and also his second checkered flag of this 2010 chase. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to Talladega and NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. Race number 7 of the 2010 chase is in the history books, and when the checkered flag waved at this race, there was only one guy who knew for sure he had a win, and that was Richard Childress of Richard Childress Racing. It was going to be one of his 2 cars, and Clint Boyer was pretty confident it was him because you did the burnout before you knew. That's confidence.
Yay!
You need to do that right away, right? Yeah.
You forced
claim your win. That way nobody else can.
Perfect.
But no, Clint, what an incredible race this was. Everybody up and back all throughout the day. And finally, in the end, you guys were there, and that's the goal here, right? To be there in the end?
Absolutely. For BB&T to get in victory lane and to get back in victory lane after what had happened the first race of the chase was very important to me. Super Speedway racing is always, you know, it's very intense, but it's a lot of fun. I really do enjoy these tracks, and to be able to finally win at one in the Cup Series just meant a lot to me.
Clint, controversy at the end of the race. Who won? But you came across the radio and said, I won. I led down the whole front straightaway. Explain to the fans. I mean, are you sitting there looking at you know?
Well, he was the last time, you know, us race car drivers aren't the smartest people in the world. I remember him being in front of me right there in the corner, but I thought once we got on the front straightaway, I was ahead. But I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. I know I was when the time was right.
Yeah,
this is coming to the
white. Oh, yeah,
coming
this
to
is
the
back
white.
straight away.
You're on the inside there as Harvick, but look at this group behind you, and I want you to see how much they gained.
He's clearly ahead of him right there.
Too bad the flag stand's not right there. Okay, sorry about that. But you see, you know, the 56 car Truex back here who's being pushed, he's coming to the front. Here you guys are. As you come out turn 4, they're coming, and this second group closes the door.
Okay,
right
so explain this
right
part.
here.
We're ahead. But the caution came out right there, I think.
No. Caution come out. Watch this. Watch this. Here you guys cross the start-finish line. Boom, he's ahead.
Yeah, but the caution was already out.
Caution comes out right
No,
here.
the caution was already out.
No.
Whoa, look at that. What happened there? Oh.
You didn't see
Hold
that,
on,
did you,
AJ.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now,
Pretty intense.
what's
Pretty
great is here we are on Victory Lane. This race, look here, you're down in turn 1.
Wait a minute. That was a whole lap before the whole caution.
Right there, the caution comes out. You win the race going into turn 1.
Yeah.
I know you won the race, but you're going to have to go home and watch. I know you won the race, but you're going to have to go home and watch the hub to see what happened. Okay, let me just say that right now.
Best thing, though, A.J. Allmendinger was okay, got right out of the car. That's the good part about that. And also the good part for you guys is you're back in victory lane for the second time in the chase.
Yeah, absolutely. And just want to really say thank you to ECR Engines. All the guys down there have been working really hard. They're the biggest part of why we've turned things around at RCR. And to have Juan helping me, that was why I won the race. He was behind me, didn't give up. You know, I didn't know that the caution was coming out. My spotter must have been getting lemonade or something at the stand. But
who's your spotter?
Mike Dillon.
I thought
he
so.
was.
But you know, just to be able to be in victory lane for BB&T and Cheerios, Hamburger Helper, everybody involved is very, very proud.
I want to ask you what, you go to New Hampshire, the first race in the chase, and you win with your team. All right, and then last week, you guys switched pit crews. And I noticed as you came down pit road, that the 29 pit crew, or the guys that are dressed as the 29 pit crew, which is your pit crew, came out to congratulate you. And that's pretty cool that you win with 2 crews. But is it a little bit bitter that, not bitter, that's a bad word, but you'd like to have your whole crew here too?
Well, you know, I mean, it is
RCR
We're
racing.
out to win a championship, and Kevin finishing second obviously is a good step in that direction. We're still in that thing. We as a team at RCR, and you know, winning right there, you know, as a team, we won that. So
That's
cool right there.
Yeah, it was
cool.
really cool to be able to do that, and Kevin is still in the hunt of that thing. We don't have much to lose here, you know, so we were in a situation we could run up front all day long, which is kind of uncharacteristic of me at Talladega. I kind of holding the back and you know, wait around for them to wreck and then try to get there at the end.
Clint, you brought up motors. You know, inside the garage area, all we've been hearing this year is, man, ECR motors, you know, Earnhardt, Childress Racing motors, they got the smoke. Where did the power come from this year?
I wish I knew. I don't care.
Out of nowhere.
I'm just glad it's here. You know, like I said, I mean, at these restrictor plate tracks like this, just having that extra advantage like that is you know, second to none. They sat on the front row of you know, of qualifying yesterday, and then those 2 cars are what eventually won the race. That combination.
Yeah, I've got, you know, my ultimate question is this, but you know, you win at New Hampshire, and we find out on Wednesday that it's not a win. You win down here, and it takes them 10 minutes to tell you, when are you going to win a race where you just get the checkered flag, and then you drive in here, and how big a win is this really? Because you've won on a mile track, you've won on different racetracks. How big is it to put that 2.5-mile win in your?
I can put it to you in a driver's. You've been a driver. I get paid to go across the finish line first. I don't care what happens after that. That's on somebody else.
I like that.
That's good, man. That's good.
Then we'll tell you what,
Good
I
answer.
want you to do. I'll give you the checkered flag.
Yeah.
How about
All right,
that?
boys.
Without any doubt
Hey,
about
thank
it.
you guys very much.
Congratulations,
There you go, dude.
Clint Boyer and that number 33 team on a great victory. Each week here on NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, one lucky fan will receive a Sunoco checkered flag autographed by the winner of the race. Enter online at speed.com, keyword Sunoco, to win the flag that Clint Boyer is autographing right now. Congratulations once again, Richard Childress Racing and Clint Boyer on a huge victory on a big racetrack. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll hear from the other part of the RCR equation, and that is Kevin Harvick. Stick with us. Welcome back to Victory Lane, everyone. After the dust settled, it was Kevin Harvick coming to Victory Lane to congratulate his teammate Clint Boyer, who ultimately was the winner here. Now, one of the big things about the number 29 team today was the fact that they bounced back from an accident that could have meant the end of their hopes, but instead they bounced back, fixed the race car, and put together a pretty good finish. Actually, a pretty darn good finish. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Certainly plenty of confusion, but the good thing is at least an RCR car is in victory lane. I'll tell you what, first before we talk about you and Clint and wondering who won, how intense was today, Kevin?
It was, you know, there were several sleepless nights leading up to this. You know, this is just one of those places where we know we run well, but you can get caught up in something so quick, and even caught up in a couple things there today as the race went on. But just got to thank everybody on my Realtree Chevrolet. They did a great job fixing the car and keeping me in contention.
Okay, your teammates in victory lane, you're second, but you're still smiling. I know you're still happy with that.
Well, you know, I knew it was going to come down to the 4 of us there. You know, we broke up that second tandem, kind of blocked their momentum as they got to us. David Rudiman just, he kept us in the race there at the end, pushing us, and we were able to get locked up and make some ground. And I knew I thought I'd beat him to the line, but I didn't know when the caution had come out. So it was just one of those deals where wherever the caution came out, they had to back up to that and kept it in the right house. So good day for us.
You gained some points, but I want to know your thoughts on that and how emotional is it when you get beat up, banged up during a race like this when you got such a good car and you're battling for the points?
Well, I knew it wasn't that bad. I knew when the 47 came across my nose that I didn't want to spin the car out and take a chance on getting into the wall. So we got a little damage on the front, and we're able to not have too big of problems with the flat tires coming in. They got all that fixed, got the hood seams fixed back up, and it's pretty nerve-wracking, though, to tell you the truth. So one of those days where you can't see what's up there, and you just don't know how bad everything is, so you want to see it, but you can't. And they told me it was okay, so our car was still competitive after that.
Key for Kevin Harvick, he gained points today here at Talladega.
Well, once again, the only guy who knew for sure he had a victory was Richard Childress. It was going to be one of your 2 cars, whichever I'm sure you were going to be happy with. But in the case of Kevin Harvick, Richard, as an owner, you got to be proud of that team, because when we saw that damage, we said, uh-oh, Harvick is in trouble. But he said, hey, man, we're fine.
Yeah, the main thing, it didn't block up the grill where it run hot, spray water, and front end was okay. Just had the Realtree team there went out there and put her back together and made him competitive. And Kevin on these speedway races, he's on it.
Richard, you have been adamant in all your interviews this year that we are going to bring the championship, or we are going to do everything we can back to your race team this year. You're close. I mean, you're right there.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to win the championship. Like today, this was 10 years when Dale, you was in that race with Dale, and he won that race. And to come back here and be in winner's circle 10 years later, it just means a lot to RCR. And to be able to win that championship would be great. We got a lot of racing to do. A lot can happen, but we want to be there to challenge.
But, Richard, you were more adamant this year than ever. Did you think you had everything? Your motors are – did you feel this is your year? Is that why you're telling everybody we're going to bring the championship back?
Well, like I told him at our kickoff meeting, I said, somebody's got to beat Jimmy Johnson, the 48. That's a great racing team operation. And I said it should be RCR. Let's go beat them, one of our teams.
Yeah, and you're a racer's racer, and Earnhardt was, and the organization that you guys have built, you built it on that reputation and that deal. How hard of a decision was it, or was it a hard decision a couple of weeks ago when you switched teams and switched pit crews to make one team in the chase that you thought was your team? Was that a hard decision for you guys, or was it just we're going to throw everything at this car?
No, that decision was made once we got all three teams in the chase. I set everyone down. I said, here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. I hope whichever one of you it is, when we get down to it and one of you have a chance, we're going to throw everything possible at it. And it just happened to be the pit crew was one of the things. We're doing the other things with a 33 today. He had the strongest car. We got some stuff we're working on for next year. He had that on the car today, and Jeff Burton will be running some stuff at Texas, engine stuff, and Clint had some stuff in his engine today that you can't gamble on, but everybody's going to win at this thing at the end of the day. But that decision was made with 10 races to go.
Well, Richard, with 3 races to go, there's obviously not much time left, but you guys clearly feel as if you're still in this championship hunt.
We are. Like I said earlier, anything can happen just like today, but those are 3 good tracks for Kevin, Danny, and Jimmy. So to be that close and to be able to race them, we're going to give them, they're going to know we're there at the end of the year.
Well, a 1-2 finish for Richard Childress. Congratulations, man. We appreciate your time. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Keep up the good work up there at RCR, and welcome North Carolina. We're going to take a quick break here on NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. But when we come back, we will talk to more of the principals involved in this wild race at Talladega. That is some well-deserved champagne for Clint Bowyer and company as they have scored a restrictor plate victory. First one for Clint Bowyer. That is his 2nd victory in this chase in this season and his 4th victory overall in his relatively short career with Richard Childress Racing. Now, no matter what type of racetrack you're running on, you simply cannot write off the number 48 at any time. Jimmy Johnson was hanging towards the back of the pack, strategically waited towards the end to come to the front, and once again, the 48 has another championship caliber finish here at Talladega. Let's go back to Bob.
The point lead after Talladega, certainly a toss-up right now, but I want to know how nerve-wracking of a race was this for you, Jimmy?
There were a couple moments, but at the end, I mean, you have to race for your finish, and as long as you make it to like 20 to go or 10 to go, you feel pretty good about taking chances. And we had a great strategy, a very fast race car, and the 24 and I hooked up and got to the front. Unfortunately, when we got up to the front, you could smell some oil in his car and thought the engine was blowing up, and to avoid messing me up, he just kind of pulled out of the way, and in the end, I needed a teammate up there. I think it would have made a big difference.
Obviously, things get jumbled up at the end of a race and so forth, but, without Jeff, was there any shot of you still trying to get that win?
Yeah, I really think so. I had the 56 pushing me really hard. We were rolling up through there, and I had the 11 throw a huge block on us. I mean, I had to turn to miss the 11. I was coming at such a high rate of speed that I almost spun out before the big wreck started, leaving the tri-oval. So, if we could have stayed together and that lap would have finished under green, it would have been awfully close to come back around the start finish.
All right, we've talked about this before, and you said after Talladega, if you still have the points lead, you know how to attack those last 3. It's a virtual toss-up right now between you and Denny, and obviously Kevin's still in there. So are you breathing a sigh of relief now, or where's your standpoint with 3 to go?
I am. I'm glad I didn't lose anything this weekend to those guys. But at the same time, I know that in the next 3 weeks, we need to be as good as we can possibly be to be the champions again. And I mean, to me, that's exciting. I've won 4 championships, very proud of what I've accomplished, and to really race for this 5th, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun for the fans too, because it's a tight point battle.
Oh, Bob, and it just got even tighter, and the fans have to love what they saw here. And this is kind of drama going on here as we sit in victory lane. This was so tight of a race. NASCAR's still calculating the points, so we don't actually know yet. We'll tell you when we know. But right now, Jimmie Johnson is in one of the fights of his life right now. He usually has a little bit more of a cushion at this time in the last 4 championships.
Okay, there may not be a chink in the armor there, but it's beat the crap out of right now. 'Cause Jimmie Johnson says, with 4 races to go in the chase, as he comes out of the 4th race, Talladega, 3 races now, he comes out of this race and he says, I'm just glad we didn't lose anything. I'm glad we didn't lose any points or many points. When the guy that's dominated like he's dominated for the last 4 years is now more concerned about what he's losing than what he's gaining, then he's looking in the mirror. And he sees that 29 and he sees that 11 coming.
I just think it's unbelievable. As we sit here today and go, oh, Jimmie Johnson, he's only leading by a little bit now. What's wrong with us? I mean, he's going for his 5th championship.
Yeah, now this championship looks a lot like some races on the track. We've seen it before when the 1st and 2nd guys are battling. That guy in 3rd place can sit back, watch him do the battle, and sneak up and win before. We've seen that happen in the race before. We can see that happen in this championship if Denny and Jimmy are too worried about himself, especially with the 2nd place finish here. Kevin Harvick can sneak up.
Okay, we got to be honest, because we've said it and I've said it. I'll be honest and say it. You know, we talk 48-11, 48-11, 48-11, and all of a sudden you look up with 5 races to go, and it's like, there's a 29. How did the 29 maintain what he's maintained? And now you're looking up with 3 races to go, and he's gained points on these guys again. Harvick is doing, and RCR is doing right now what they've done all year long. Chip away, chip away, chip away. And if they can continue this pace, there's not going to be anything left when they get to Homestead except standing in victory lane or except standing there with that trophy, that championship trophy. So I think we've talked about these other guys so much, and you look at it, but I think it is. That 3rd place guy, nobody's paying any attention to.
And Richard Childress put it best. We're going to 3 great tracks for 3 great race car drivers. All 3 of the top guys in points have good records at Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead.
If Clint Boyer, Jeff Burton, and Kevin Harvick haven't proved their self-worth, they never will. I was eating last night, and I heard a fan say, you think Clint Boyer's going to win? And somebody said, nah, he's not going to win. He's not going to make it to victory lane. He's not an A driver. I looked up. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Race fans,
look again.
Look again. Richard Childress Racing is for real. Their motors, their chassis program can win this championship.
And you know, if Jeff Burton didn't have that wreck with Dale Earnhardt Jr., he might have been there at the end as well. Got to take another quick break. When we come back, we will sort out the point situation and the finishing order, and also talk more about Clint Boyer's first ever restrictor plate victory. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. We are in Victory Lane at the Talladega Super Speedway on a beautiful, warm afternoon after a wild and sometimes confusing race that put Clint Boyer in Victory Lane. But nonetheless, out of the 3 top title contenders right now, this race looked as if it was going to be very cruel, especially to Denny Hamlin. At one point, he went a lap down with some 20 seconds behind the leader, but he battled back in the end. It wasn't exactly a fun day for Denny Hamlin, but nonetheless, he came back with a pretty good finish.
It wasn't very fun. You know, I didn't get to race as hard as I'd like to at times, and thought I was in a good position there, and was actually in a great position with 2 to go. I had the 5 pushing me, but it's you know, as soon as we passed the 48, he stopped pushing, and that's just, yeah, it's teamwork, and that's what I would expect of a teammate. And but it just, you know, we were in a bad spot. You know, we weren't around our teammates when it counted right there at the end.
What was going through your mind when you went a lap down, Denny?
Well, you know, I was a little disappointed, but you know, I knew we could get it back, and you know, I was hoping we were going to stay out and then get the you know, pass around, but Mike wanted to make the safe call and get the lucky dog, and we got that, and just had a good car. It just never ran all day, and I hate that I had to race like that, but you know, unfortunately with our points format, it's how you have to race, and you know, it's just it was an up and down day, but you know, it looked like everyone broke even. I lost a little bit to the 48, lost to 29, but you know, still it wasn't anything detrimental today.
What were you so upset about?
Just that I had the 48 by 5 spots coming off the last corner, and when the 5 stopped pushing me, it just killed us. And then you you know, we weren't going to go forward from that point.
How do you feel 10 laps down and the three of you this tight with 3 races to go? How do you think this plays out?
Well, you know, it's what I asked for. I asked for nobody to really get killed here this weekend, and let us settle it on the racetrack where our cars and our teams can make a difference, and our drivers can make a difference, and that's what we got. We got a tight one, and I'm looking forward to the last 3.
Yeah, Denny, I think a lot of fans are looking forward to the last 3 as well. This is a tight points race right now, but when you look at Denny Hamlin, you consider what has happened in years past with him, with Mike Ford as the calming force behind that team. These guys, when they went a lap down and fell way back, well, listening to their radio, you didn't hear them talking. You didn't hear them panicking. They just rode it out knowing they could get it done.
Yeah, but, you know, let's go back to Martinsville. When he pits, okay, with, 2 laps to go, 5 laps to go, and takes 4 tires, there's no panic in their voice then either. They believe they can get back to the front. This is a team that believes they can overcome anything you throw at them right now. And Mike Ford is so calm that he keeps Denny calm. You know, Denny's comment right there, the one I found most amazing is we go to a lot of racetracks twice. You come to Talladega twice, you go to Daytona twice, you go to Charlotte. Each time you go with the same mindset. This is how I'm going to drive Charlotte. This is how I'm going to drive Daytona. These guys have to come to Talladega the second race with a totally different mindset than what they approached the first race. And that's really hard on a driver. A driver, you don't just flip off and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the back and ride around and points race today. These guys come to drive a race car and they come to race. And that's hard on a driver.
I would say this. I cannot condemn Denny Hamlin or Jimmy Johnson for the way they raced by falling to the back. And let me tell you why. They're trying to win a championship. You have to protect yourself. They end up in the top 10. And I am certain when we see this points, they will have sure eliminated 4th on back. They'll have over a 200-point lead. Both top 10 runs. Good job, Denny Hamlin.
And if you want to keep up with the latest on points and situations in NASCAR, as well as the Richard Petty Motorsports situation, you want to tune in to the Race Hub starting tomorrow night on Speed. Steve Burns and company will break down all the action from Talladega and get you fired up for race number 8 of the Sprint Cup Chase in Texas. Don't miss a full hour of NASCAR Race Hub tomorrow night at 7 Eastern only on Speed. Friday, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series thunders into Texas, where NASCAR's Outlaws have a Wild West-style showdown in the Lone Star State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Texas Friday at 8:30 Eastern only on Speed. Well, Clint Boyer will be the first to tell you that you need help here at Talladega, and Bob Dillner is standing by with the guy who perhaps today earned the title of Super Helper.
I think a lot of people today owe a debt of gratitude to this guy, David Rudiman, because especially Kevin Harvick and so forth, you really pushed a bunch of guys to the front here today.
Yeah, we had a great Airstream machine, and it would push certain cars we just didn't like very well for some reason, you know, and you can't ever figure out why that is, but worked well with the 29 earlier and the 11 and some other guys. So, yeah, I mean, from the time we unloaded to now, I mean, the guys have done a great job, great pit stops all day, and we kept the car, you know, primarily up front all day, and again, had a great Airstream machine. I can't, getting out of here with the car in one piece is something pretty big for today.
Had we been able to go to the checkered flag, do you have a shot?
I don't know. I mean, you know, it depends on. I don't know that we could have cleared the guys on the bottom, and I don't think they could have cleared us. So it would have been interesting by the time we got down here. But you know, I committed to pushing the 29, and unless I had a clear shot of doing something different, I was going to stay with the 29 and push him as far as I could go. And if we would have broke out and I would have had an opportunity, I would have tried something right there in, of course. But you know, when you're like that, you know, you're kind of stuck. You don't have a whole lot of extra room.
Hey, everybody's battling for themselves, obviously, but a Toyota pushed a Chevy today, you and Harvick. That ever enter your mind?
No, it's just a car that, I mean, obviously, if you had a choice, you know, sometimes I guess you would like to push your same make and manufacturer, but, you know, you don't have those choices. And, you know, I'd worked with the 29 earlier in the race, and we've been able to check out and do pretty well there. So I knew if we could get lined up back behind him, you know, you plan on doing stuff like that. It never plans out most of the time, but it worked out. We were just in the right place at the right time. And I was like, all right, we'll just follow this guy. And he seems to know his way around these racetracks pretty well, and ended up pretty good for us.
Nice to see David Rudiman in the top 5 at Dega.
Bob, thanks a lot. And here are unofficial results from the AMP Energy Juice 500. And we stress unofficial because they still have a little bit of sorting out to do. But here they are as they stand right now. Clint Boyer and Kevin Harvick, 1-2. We have 5 chasers in the top 10. And once again, you got to give a shout out to guys like Juan Pablo, David Rudiman, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski for finishing in the top 10.
2 weeks in a row, Brad Keselowski gets his first career top 10s this year for that team.
On back in the field we go. We see a few more chasers. Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards were up at the front in a 2-car breakaway, but didn't end that way. Good job by Robbie Gordon to finish 18th. Then there's the Biff, Eric Almirola in the 9.
Wow, Kyle Busch really faded. I mean, he was a front runner. Casey Kane, 26th.
I mean, all the way back here, as we get back to these cars were still lead lap cars, and that's why it's so hard here at Talladega. You can make up ground or you can lose ground because, as I say, you know, all the way back to Tony Stewart is a lead lap car in this thing. Tony fights back from 2 laps down and salvages a 31st place finish, but that's really all there was. A.J. Allmendinger crashes right there on the last lap. He and Marcus, some of those guys in that accident.
About midway through this race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. had led the most laps. Didn't work out well for him. Jeff Burton was the farthest back of the chasers in the finishing order. Then it's Dave Blaney and Jeff Fuller. Take a look at the championship standings with 3 races to go, and look at this. We have a tight 1 through 3. Once you get back to 4, again, these are unofficial. Once you get back to 4, Jeff Gordon's 207 out, but 38 points now separate Kevin Harvick from Jimmy Johnson, and we got 3 races to go.
Yeah, that's incredible. The top 3 close up and pull away from 4th place all at the same time. And I agree with what Kenny Wallace said earlier. I think from 4th back, they're fighting for 4th place right now.
Anything can happen, like Richard Childress told us a while ago, because we're going in to 3 races with 3 drivers, and they're all very good on these next 3 tracks, Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead. Let's hope this is a barn burner the whole way home.
Well, you know what was interesting? Go back a week ago to Martinsville, and we said, okay, we're in Martinsville. Denny Hamlin will win. Wow. He called it. He said he was going to win. He won. We come here to Talladega, Harvick, the whole Childress bunch, you know, we're like, they're going to win here really close. So, I mean, Kyle, people are calling their numbers at the end of this year. And it's pretty wild because it's working out.
It's going to be a brave soul that calls Texas
yeah, I agree.
or Phoenix or Homestead. I'm just going to tell you that because, as you say, all 3 of those drivers are winning race car drivers, championship drivers and championship teams. And there's 3 races that basically this championship is going to come down to. And you're not only going to have to call it if you want to call it, if you're brave enough, you're going to have to back it up. And that's going to be tough in these 3 races.
And you know what? Even back in the old point system before the chase format was introduced, still having 3 guys going for the championship was a pretty good race, and we look like we have that heading into home stretch to Homestead. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we will look forward to Texas and tell you who we think is going to shine in the Lone Star State. We'll be back in just a moment.
NASCAR Victory Lane is fueled by Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR. Put the fuel of NASCAR in your car. And brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative.
Well, Talladega played some cruel tricks on some drivers, but it was a treat for Clint Bowyer as he gets his 2nd victory in the chase. But now we have to set our sights on Texas, the 3rd to the last race in the chase. And that is a place, like we've said all along tonight, that's been very good to several of the drivers in the chase, especially our top 3.
Yeah, you know, Texas has been good to a lot of people through the years. You look at Dale Jr. getting his wins there. It's just one of those places that you can go to, and if you hit the right combination, you can just check out on the field. We've seen it at places like Chicago. You see it at places like Kansas. Texas is a great racetrack. It's a great racetrack to race on. The asphalt down there is getting a little bit older. You can run high, you can run low.
And better with age.
Better with age, a lot better. It's like wine, Johnny. You know, it's like wine. It's going to be a great race in Texas.
And they claim to have the largest crowd, the most money down there. And look at these grandstands. But I must say, this corner that we're looking at, study it. This is where Jimmy Johnson got wrecked early in the race. I think Jimmy's going to be more aware of that. He's going to ease his way. How will these guys qualify? But, you know, when we talk about Texas, oh, my gosh, remember that last year? He's got this big lead, guys, and we're sitting there watching the race. We're in the TV compound. We hear this big roar. We just get done eating, right? And we all go running out. Jimmy Johnson got wrecked. Hopefully that won't happen this time, but that's what I remember about this Texas race coming up.
Now, Denny Hamlin has won 7 times so far this season. If he can complete a sweep of Texas, because one of those wins came at the earlier Texas race, that'll be 8 wins for the year, but obviously he knows how to run there.
Yeah, he knows how to run Texas. You know, Texas is one of those places that, like I said, you just hit on the right combination. And we've seen Denny before at Pocono. We see him at Martinsville. We see him at Richmond. We see him at places where he and Mike Ford hit on that combination, and they like that place, then they dominate places. And I'm going to tell you something. He may lead with those Beretta 6-shooters again this time.
And here's an interesting thing about Denny Hamlin in that last race at Texas. Not only did he win the thing, but he started 29th. So don't get worried about Denny if he qualifies back in the pack, because these guys certainly, and that's a track you can race on and pick up positions in the pits and actually come from the back to the front.
All good points, but now we move to the guy third in the points. You know, we look at Kevin Harvick. Harvick never had a top 5 at Martinsville last week. All of a sudden, boom, there he is in the top 5. Look for Kevin Harvick to also step the game up and run good at Texas, because he's been telling us all year long he's going to capitalize on tracks that he hasn't won at.
So he can do anything he wants to right now with that momentum on his side. But then again, we got to watch out for the guys who possibly can break up this chase party. Yeah. It's happened a couple times in the not so past future. Not so distant past is what I want to say. With Jamie McMurray doing it twice in the last 2 years.
And Jamie McMurray is the guy that can do it in Texas too. Jamie McMurray seems to rise to the occasion at these big racetracks. We talk about Indy, we talk about Daytona, you talk about Charlotte. You got to throw Texas into that mix. When you look at the crowds they have, when you look at the amount of money they pay, that's a big race. Jamie's a guy, but I'm going to tell you something. We hadn't said anything about the 48, and these are racetracks that he loves. Texas, Phoenix, Homestead. It's going to be tough.
And, you know, when he comes down to Homestead, no one runs quite as well there as Jimmy does, because when he gets down there, all he has to do is seems to run around in the back of the pack, and he can get it done and get a championship. So the drive for 5 is alive, but now Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick are all that much more closer to Jimmy Johnson as we head into the last handful of races of the season. 3 to go after we leave Talladega. No question, this is Talladega. After a wild afternoon, the transporters are heading out into the sunset on their way to Texas. And don't forget, Monday on Speed, the NASCAR Race Hub will have all your latest news. So long, everybody.